Well met, lords and ladies, Jacob Butter speaking, and welcome back to another episode of... So, Season 2 of Troop of Adventure specifically. I was about to say, oh yeah, we get Season 2 of a Tamsin show, but then I remembered, like, no, Season 4 of Troop and Trust Pop exists, so yeah, never mind. But yeah, we're back. We're back once again. You know, it's amazing how, like, you know, now that we've caught up with all the Pops content, it feels like a special occasion, like, every time. This was supposed to work somewhat differently to how it normally does, though, because I've been given an opportunity here. I've been granted access to the script of this episode, and you know me, I love my scripts and stuff. The problem is that my computer screen is so small that I can't actually fit it on. So I can actually see at the same time as playing the video. Oh, wait, no. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. I can do that. I just realized I can just load it on my phone. That's a way better idea. All right, give me a second. We'll be right back. Do I have a we'll be right back? No, I don't. I had to make a custom, like, we'll be right back, like, song or something like that. I don't know, something on those lines. Yeah, give me a moment. I'll return shortly. Okay, that's enough of that. All right. Gonna get the script on my phone, and then we'll actually go ahead and, I guess, try and follow along as best as possible with both of them. So here we go. Let's see. And away we go. All right, perfect. There was some messages in here. Apparently, they're just, like, you know, two of them, Tamsin and Ghost Kitty, talking to each other. But okay, here we go. Oh, of course, because it's the opening. They've got like some opening lines. All right, fair enough then. I tend to do that after an episode is done, which I was not making copies. I mean, I get that for clearing, like, you know, your space in Google Drive, but docs don't tend to take up that much space, all things considered. It's not for me compared to all the video files I have in there, so I don't know. But all right, we'll go ahead and we'll follow along at the same time, and we'll see how this goes. So, without further ado, on with the review. Oh, I forgot Pizza Girl's a thing now, okay. I appreciate the fact that I've got some more, like, you know, more dynamic, like, poses and smoother animation in the intro as well. Oh, wait, did Troublesome even get, like a name at the bottom of the screen? Hold on. Oh, okay, yeah, because it was just, no, yeah, it was on the bottom of the screen. Fair enough, then. The 3 T's. Some might call them tricks. I'm kidding. All right, here we go. Oh, and I guess StreamYard's not letting me see the full thing, but good thing I've got this in here, so don't worry. So yeah, on the screen, hi, I'm Tamsin, and I'm a British pop. It's a great responsibility to be a British pop, but you know who loves being... I think that seems to be the same so far. Oh, even that recording tab up in the... Oh, for the cameras, yeah. And the aspect ratio for a camera is different, but that's for the whole video, so that doesn't really matter. Yeah, pop? I do. Anyway, I should sign off this vlog after what? After just starting it? You've got a lot of hero stuff to do. I mean, great, but did you make a vlog just to start going like, hi, guess what? Here's my name. Anyway, I've got to go off now. Bye. What a fantastic vlog there. Really gonna drive the engagement. Okay. Oh, okay, yeah. The terms of cuts, I'm gonna do a little sort of zoom out transition to our normal format. I mean, the little sort of zoom out was in fact there. It was just, normally a zoom out would be like, just like a fade like that, basically, like a little bit so you can actually like draw your vision. Not really a, but close enough. Starts video, reveals to empty, stops video, perfect vlog. Exactly. Vlogging is so much fun, for the 5 seconds it lasts. But now, I gotta make sure no villains are causing issues. The transformation sequence has gotten better. I still love the fact that, the design, because of how, like, the pops work, it's so much simpler than any other piece of clothing, so it always seems like less is added rather than more, like in most, magical transformation sequences. I always find that funny. Oh, and even though it's a light and, like, goes there, yeah. It was always getting better with, like, with any of the effects, honestly. It always surprises me in different ways. But all right, here we go. Isla, I mean, Izzy Pop, what are you doing here? Two identities. That's two identities revealed in this video. In 1 minute. Oh, hi, Tree Pop. Majesty informed me of potential villain activity in this area, but I've yet to find anything. Well, it's just as well that Tree Pop, who wasn't informed, happened to be in the same area. Okay, sure. This is a Gacha 2 background I think I haven't used that before, actually, because it looks like it's very fitting. Like, there's like actual clothes in the background as well. Those suit Gacha characters. Oh, here's where you take over? Well, why not at the beginning? There's only like a couple of lines before this. Why was here where you took over as writer and not like at the beginning? I didn't have to scroll up to see the start of this. I kind of do for a bit, but all right. Okay, hold on a second. Here's the thing when I've got my phone. I'm checking a message, making sure that I haven't missed anything. No, okay, all right. They're just my family talking to each other in the group chat. Okay. Strange. Majesty is typically never wrong about this sort of thing. Well, I mean, she did say potential villain activity. The potential part means that it might not happen, so she's technically not wrong either way. Oh, that was interesting. Sounds like a mechanical bug scuttling, but all right, sure. That's one thing they never did in like the source material. I don't think was just have like an actual screen of Majesty, like laterally inverted. Probably because Tony TV would have had to, put more effort into the green screening. Anyway. Hello. Oh, it says here, hello, Tree Pop. Yeah. Hello, Tree Pop. I've called to inform you that villain activity has been detected near the grocery store. Oh, what's that? You're already there? Well, isn't that convenient? The grocery store? I thought Celeste detected villain activity near the cafe. plot twist, Celeste has been hacked. Also, that's a salon behind you, not a cafe. Maybe the cafe's, you know, in front of them. It appears the villain has moved. Celeste is never wrong. Well, that's definitely a they'll come back later. All right then. Oh, my PS sound is the sound. Oh, okay, I see. I love how she does the finger even though no one's actually watching her. Something isn't right about this. I have a bad feeling. Majesty, can you call in for backup while Izzy Pop and I go to investigate the grocery store? Honestly, since you're there right now, you can probably send the backup to the grocery store and then you could still continue here, but alright, sure. They can teleport, so I guess it's not really that much of a difference. Of course, and be careful, girls. May destiny always be on your side. Oh, there's Jessica saying things seem sus again, of course. Oh, this I really like. Sound effects like with synced up steps and a camera angle and moving. All that's missing, and with the background changing as well. All that's missing now is, you know, to have them talk at the same time, and that's just, you know, my whole, like, editing, you know, thing altogether. I'm starting to understand what you mean. This is more of a mess than villains usually cause. Is it? All that's happened is you got one message, it was wrong, and then, or it seemed like it was wrong, and then you went to an empty grocery store, walked around for a bit, decided, wow, what a devastating sight this is. And what's actually happened here? Troublemaker may be, well, a troublemaker, but she never caused this big of a mess. What mess? There's nothing here. Is that why we're like in close-up so we can't see the empty mall? That was slightly ominous with his music, but yeah, fair enough. I'm glad it's just me, yeah. Look at the script for this, the story's supposed to be a mess. Right, let's see. Oh yeah, we arrive at the grocery store to see a mess as Streamup and Izzy Pop walk around. Okay. Also worth pointing out, this is not a grocery store, this is in fact a mall, but you know, that too. I feel like, you know, like early days with like editing with Aiden. It's just like, oh, this I'll use this thing instead. Like, okay, sure. Mhm. Hi, Ghostmaster. Mentioned you back up. Oh, whoa, 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 la, 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 la. Yeah, okay, yeah. Then, hi, yeah, you would definitely need backup for this. Something that's definitely not right. I noticed this place is a mess. The more that they mention it, the worse it gets. The more they verbally confirm there's supposed to be a mess here, the worse it appears. I can't believe I'm saying this. I feel dirty almost making this comparison. What's Up Unicorn would have done this better. Just the mess part. Because as much as What's Up Unicorn has many, many, many faults, especially not having like any sound for the videos for, you know, way too long, at least they use all the props and objects and such and make a space seem like it's actually been lived in. I can't believe it, but I have to give credit for that. That would have been, visually speaking, better executed. It would have been as well put together. That's definitely not the case. Tamsin, you know, blows everything out of the park in that sense, but still. If this isn't Troublemaker's doing, then who? It could be a number of people, you know? This is a vast universe, but okay. Anyway, then who? Oh, I saw in the script it said interrupted by some giggling. I was expecting like a or something in the background. But no. Hey, Tamsin, next time you need like giggle sound effects, you need like a witch cackle, let me know. Or Ghosty, actually. Ghost's got a great witch cackle. Okay, this does seem, yeah, again, fairly well put together. They reacted to something and saw like the imminent thing coming towards us. They couldn't react in time. Neither could we, the audience. Like, yeah, and it feels like it, like like there's not just like what left or right as well. This actually feels like a vast space. We changed the script. You couldn't find a fitting background. So I notified this when the video was uploaded. Yeah, that used to be the Aiden way as well. Nowadays, Aiden will just straight up tell me if I'm writing a thing that he's not going to pull off visually. He'll either tell me that I'm editing the scene, which has happened before, or he'll just say like they can't do that, and then I'll change it. So yeah. Well, it was hold on. What was that? It was me, Wi-Fi moth. I mean, Lady Wi-Fi already exists, so I don't know. Prepare for trouble and make it double. Of course. Here we go. I mean, the thumbnail suggested K-pop demon hunters. But, I guess the content is Pokemon. Sure. All right, then. Wait. Hold on. I need to go back. There's a line missing. There's a line missing here. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was about to say, I was just checking, because I have it in here. So I'll read it out as it appears on here, and then I'll read it out as on the script. So yeah. Do you with an animation to collapse the world into devastation? Those were the opposite order around, because in the actual Team Rocket motto, you say devastation first before nation. To denounce the evils of truth and love. I guess the actual order. To extend our reach to the stars above. Trisha and Tracy. The troublesome trio here to steal the light. That's right. What? So surrender now, prepare the fight. It's in here. It's in here. Trust me. It's. I now understand why you wanted me to see the script. Not that people are unfamiliar with the Team Rocket motto. It is definitely something that like everyone, of a certain age demographic would absolutely know by heart. But also, yeah, what? Also, they're called the Troublesome Trio, but they start off by saying prepare for trouble and make it double. Which, yes, is what Team Rocket say, even though there are always three of them, Jesse, James, and Meowth. But, Jesse and James do the bulk of it every time. And that's why, but they don't call themselves the Troublesome Trio, suggesting that the trouble part actually came in triple form rather than double. Right. Also, now the reveal they strike a cool pose. That's in here. Let's see the cool pose. Oh, that's this. Okay, yeah. Was that the Team Rocket motto? Almost. Almost the Team Rocket motto. Even in the script here, they changed a couple of the words. Like, instead of protect the world, it's collapse the world into devastation. But aside from that, yeah. And yeah, it was a little bit of a knockoff. It was mostly the same thing. It would have been more original, but Tracy wanted to be cheesy. Don't let Tracy decide next time. Make it more original. I want to see a new motto of this kind. So stop being cheerful, Tracy. This is serious. Who says being a villain has to be gloomy? Yes, I'm keeping the James voice for Tracy now. Sorry, I'm going back and forth in this because is the script makers seem like it's like a much like faster back and forth, but I guess like non-voice actor stuff is gonna feel like that. But yeah. It's my favorites to write. I mean, it's great to have like villains with actual like chemistry and personality as well. That's for sure. Let me just check something here, just in case. Nope, never mind. All right. Also, yeah, you can tell you had a lot of fun with them in general. Yes, the bickering dialogue is, reminds me of Android 17 and 18 from DBZA specifically. Boss had to be serious and yet used a bubblegum against some pops once. It was a tactical strategy. I thought Troublemaker would have been the one to say that, but I guess they're not here yet. It was goofy. Oh, this is one thing where, say, they continue to bicker. So what I would have done here is like have them still like you change poses or like you shouting at each other as Troublemaker appears rather than that, but yeah. Silence, the bubblegum was reference to the Dream Pops. Fair enough. It's been too long since I watched Dream Pops. Boss, what are you doing here? I said silence. Troublemaker, so you were involved in this. Of course I was. Trouble is my first name. I thought the saying was Trouble was your middle name. Well, I mean, Troublemaker, it's already there, so, I mean, can't be a middle name. There was an episode with dreaming. I mean, when you put it that way. I see your attitude hasn't improved since we last saw each other. It hasn't changed since last season. Troublemaker more intimidating, like Tristan and Trace are generally afraid of her. I think the character's history kind of makes that difficult. Because you know how I said before, like in Dragon Ball, the way they like to increase like the fear factor of certain characters is that they will present somebody who is like really strong and intimidating, and then have them be easily bested by somebody else to suggest like an increase in the hierarchy, and therefore also how the heroes have a much like larger journey to, and show like how much they've overcome during that time. That the flip side of that is that the former, intimidating strong villain ends up usually become like either like much goofier or hugely intimidated by someone else, and it's very difficult for them to bounce back from that. The exception being Vegeta, who of course improves over time, and it like earns his spot and becomes a protagonist anyway. So not quite the same thing. But yeah, so it's difficult to do that once you've already like had someone become like goofy. It's difficult for them to appear intimidating again with no changes applied to them. That's the problem in this scenario. So Troublemaker here, suddenly intimidating two random people, it just makes them seem less goofy than it would than Troublemaker, like, being like, amped up as a result. Mess notwithstanding, obviously. Tracy's afraid of her. Tracy finds into goofy, but yeah, like Tracy definitely seems like the more, wizened of the two, it seems. I see your attitude hasn't improved since we last saw each other. And you're still as annoying as ever. And your outfit is really bright. Oh, and your outfit is really bright. Wait. Yeah, no, that's another missed line here. Hold on. The outfit's really bright. Trista's meant to say, Tracy, that's not an insult when you like bright colors. To which then Tracy responds, hush Trisha, instead of Trisha saying, hush Trisha. I'm trying to be mean. Okay, the fact there are so many of these like missed lines here, but they're also it's strange to me because they're all, even if we presume that Tamsin is just going in order and being like, okay, well, this person did this one, this person did this one. You still have the fact that like every line has that, Tracy, colon, and your outfit's really bright. Trisha, colon, Tracy, that's not an insult, etc., etc. So they're all marked here very clearly, but as applying to like which character they are, I don't know why that's and if that's the case, then when you're looking at these lines and copy pasting them, that should be apparent. It's not like it's missing or far away or anything. That's not mean though. This is mean. That's not a knife, this is a knife. Oh, were they facing off in that direction? I'm surprised. I thought like the laser went like way further away. I thought they were like facing each other, but okay. But hey, actual action. Whoa, what was that? That was Trisha trying to attack you. So stand still. Yeah, that's always going to work, isn't it? Also, according to the script, that's called a beam of darkness. A bright purple beam of darkness. Now, Trisha! The way she just like shuffles back here. What's the actual what's the actual line here, sir? Yes, that's so. Trisha begins to rapidly fire beams of darkness as he pop, getting more furious with each beam Izzy manages to dodge. Okay, well that's it. There was nothing about like moonwalking away or something like that. So yeah, fair enough then. They see me catwalking. They hitting. But see, that's why those that coming from the front, that's why I thought they were like facing each other. Similar to how like most fights in Super Pops actually go, because obviously they're on a green screen, like face the other together. So like they're all like firing towards the camera constantly and dodging. That's how they always do the effects. So this feels more akin to the source material, but I also wonder why then that beam of darkness went towards the other side. That feels like the outlier in this situation. Yeah. There's down in the comments that the trailer for this episode wasn't fixed. Oh. Yeah. I've found that when Gacha tubers are in the middle of making a video, or if they've already like finished it, they don't go back and correct things if there's like either a trailer or someone gives them advice about it, which is surprising. I've had Gacha tubers come to me for advice about videos like unuploaded videos before, and then almost nothing changes. Aiden himself will sometimes be like, hey, check out this scene that I've done, and then I'll tell him something wrong with the scene, and then he won't fix it because it's already prepared and he's given me usually the final version. Except now he started to show me things in like the actual like editing timeline before he renders them. So now he's able to adapt that. But I think there's a sense of not wanting to go back and correct your work once it's already either complete or mostly complete. An exception to that, weirdly, is What's Up Unicorn, who has gone back and corrected certain things in the past. But yeah, it's the actual fight. Just know it was done by the correct person. Okay, the correct person. Sure. Okay then. All right, enough. Leave my sister alone. Wow, immediately the first shot. I guess these villains aren't good at dodging after. All right then. But that's also really good effects. Ability to have the glitter, on Trisha's outfits. That's a really good way to visualize that, yeah. The character tint doesn't get used like nearly that often, but Tamsin seems to be using it a lot for either teleportation, to fade in and fade out for teleporting, or for this. And I'm really vibing with this actually, yeah. Oh, I see. Okay, yeah. All right then. I guess describe my fight scenes. I love writing villains. Yeah, I've actually found I used to be terrible at writing action specifically. So back when I mostly wrote books rather than made like like scripts for videos, I intentionally made it so there are a lot of action sequences in one of my book series, so I could train myself up on writing action. So yeah, that's now how it's that really helped because now I'm the person who's always adding a lot of detail to action scenes if it doesn't exist already. Honestly, Aiden has had a lot of like details for action before, but even with the scenes he's given me for Fallen Angels, I'm thinking of ways to embellish them. I want a good action if choreographed to music, which in itself works perfectly well for this franchise because because everything is like is so linked to a genre of music that it just that just makes sense to to have them like timed like that. That's one of the things I think like really got people into Ruby when it first started. Like that, like the first episode specifically, especially like then when like the first action sequence comes in, even before even join like the school or anything, that shows you right there what you're in for the rest of the series. So, and it's a lot of it like, is because of the music and how the action goes along with it. So there's a lot of value in action choreographed to music, especially when music is a central theme for something like this. Yeah. Also, actually, yes, K-pop Demon Hunter is another great example of that, where because music is their primary weapon, but they also have, actual weapons and actual, action and training in those areas, and they often combine them. So yeah, that's in fact, even the actual sequence of Takedown, specifically when they're like actually using it in a fight scene, is a perfect example of this. So yeah, honestly, there probably should be more of that in this kind of thing. I would say. Anyway, ew, there's glitter over my outfit now. Just a heckler, but Tracy loved the glitter because Tracy loves bright things. I mean, oh yeah, oh that's right because yeah, you did say that, yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, and that's why, yeah, because Trisha's saying, I don't think I want glitter. Yeah. Wait, no, Tracy says, oh, no, fair, I want glitter in the script. But Trisha says it there, and now they're like, this isn't a good thing. Oh, my goodness. But glitter is so pretty and shiny, and I've already said that you like it before. Idiots, I hired idiots. Inconsistent idiots. Rude. The only idiot here is Tracy. I am not an idiot! Love the facial expressions there. Oh, what is going on with your eyes? Oh, dearie me. That's, quite unfortunate. Yeah. Oh my. It looks, I know that she's like closing her eyes right now, but like the markings make it seem like there's like the eyes just like missing the sclera, same color as the skin, and like, not the intention, but Tristan and Tracy, some of their personalities are a mess. Yeah. Yeah. That seems like to be like most of the scripting issues in here. I've gone down to like these two specifically. Which honestly should have been cool when you realize, like, oh yeah, I made this character say the one that would say that, she liked bright things. Why is she complaining now? But, if reached, then don't call me an idiot. If you're not an idiot, then why haven't you attacked those idiot pops yet? Oh, and that's why Tracy shouldn't have attacked earlier, because now that line also doesn't make any sense. Because I was just about to now. Die, Pops! Right, here we go. Also, we are now into scene 3, which I guess is a continuation of scene 2. Okay. Is Izzy Pop leaning towards Zebop had her head towards the smoke bombs, not away from them, if you're dodging. Not that there was anything to dodge because they all going to the same direction. I think the action sort of like started to falter a little bit here, actually. And now it's picking back up again. Thank you, Ebony Pop. How many smoke grenades does she have? I mean, none of them are designated yet, so, you know, you should be fine. Unlimited ammunition! Fear me! Unlimited. And once again, fires to the right. This is making it so hard to see, even though this is the clearest smoke ever to exist. I think I can use my powers to help you guys. I mean, you are Ebony Pop, but there's nothing ebony about this smoke, so I don't know. Tree Pop, shoot her to your left. Oh, she's using her night vision now. It says in the script, Ebony Pop's eyes begin to glow as she used her night vision to see through the smoke. By the way, another thing about these, like, this script is that a lot of the stage directions are in past tense. Normally for stage directions or scene directions, you have them in present tense because they're things that are actively happening as the script is progressing. I mean, it works either way, but, you know, usual practice is to have them in present for that reason. Anyway. Roger that. Good thing that to your left didn't mean hit Ebony, who was also in that direction towards her left. Anyway. Doesn't feel nice to be covered in glitter now, does it? Which is also a line that Trisha originally said, not Tracy, but okay, we're still... Glitter! I'm sparkling! And then Tracy stops throwing smoke grenades to admire the glitter, except Tracy was not the one firing... No, Tracy was the one firing the grenades and not Trisha admiring the glitter. Now Tracy's got to stop to admire the glitter on Trisha instead. Oh boy. Oh boy. This is what Hira wrote. It's because a lot of books are in past tense because they are recounting events in story form. That's why. So when you're doing like that, it's a little bit different usually. I have seen exceptions actually. There's one book series I read like years ago. There was like one scene that was ironically enough, it was a flashback that was written in present tense, and then it went back to past tense for the present time moments, which was kind of weird. Most of the time, that's how it goes. Oh, come on, you're supposed to be upset! How can it be when everything is so sparkly, which is not the expression you want for that. Even if this is the wrong character, it absolutely is the wrong character saying this, but even if that's the case, like, she's not smiling or, like, admiring the sparkles or anything at this point. She's just, you know, responding again. Also, she's got glitter in her eyes. This is odd. Yeah, you're telling me. Agreed. I'm not used to dealing with villains like this. Yeah, ones that actually, you know, try and attack you. That was pretty cool. I mean, again, they're not pre-rendered, so they had to shrink down a little bit in the background. I saw that, or like this, the camera was like twisted. But yeah, it did say, Tromika stared at Trisha and Tracy before sighing and stepping forward. So yes, we are playing around with like 3D, like actually stepping forward into the scene. You know, again, I love that. More of that, please. It really is, as they say, if you want a thing done well, do it yourself. People just standing there being like, la 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 la. Oh, look at that, here it comes. Not the best battle stance. Also, you could have not jumped and probably, like, you could have ducked and avoided that way more easily. Why is that just like my hair when it gets long? Anyway, nice try, Troublemaker, but I'm not that easy to defeat anymore. I appreciate the anymore sentiment here. Also, Treepop summoned a huge cloud of glitter. Exhibit A, huge cloud. The smoke cloud was the cloud of darkness was, you know, was larger than that, but okay. but jumping is cooler. You know what's also cooler? Staying alive, you know? Not getting hit by a cloud of darkness. This is gonna take forever to clean up. Trisha, Tracy, we're out of here. It's like Ludo in Star Versus. All right, everyone, come back, come back. In you go. Shame on all of you. It's the biggest cloud I've ever seen. Whoa. Also had a special one cue. All right, boss. See you later, Trash Pop. I haven't got. Yeah, there we go. Oh no, they're back to normal selves now. See you later, Trash Pop, Idiot Pop, and whatever your name is, Grey Pop. I actually, you know what? This feels more appropriate than remember Tales of Censored featuring Trash Cat, the miraculous bashing series that I was unfortunately a part of, made by the Alpha Sisters. Yeah, that one. It was for some reason earlier in that one that misheard when Ladybug said Ladybug and Cat Noir, and then like, oh yes, you know, S-word Bug and Trash Cat. I was like, how do you get that from anything they just said? But no, this one makes sense. Is the villains actually insulting them? What they should have done in that one is actually have, you know, like Hawkmoth say that, for example, you know, like when he does this like big like head announcement thing. It's like, and bring me the miraculous of S-word Bug and Trash Cat, or whatever they're called. Then it would have stuck much more. See, even as a bashing series, I could bash Miraculous so much more efficiently than they ever tried, and I don't even dislike the series. I love it. Anyways, it's Ebony Pop. Yeah, whatever. Bibbidi Pop See Ya, which is all it says here is Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo Pop in that one, but in the script it just says Bibbidi Pop See Ya, or Bibby Pop actually. Not even the full like Bibbidi, it's just Bibby Pop. So for once the video fixed the script, I think, this time. Oh, okay, loud music. I hold on, turn it down. All right. This was exhausting. I'm glad I didn't have to use my cloning powers. I would have been even more exhausted. You know what? I never thought about that, actually. But yeah, actually using your powers to clone yourself, which already drains you, and then having the clones exert different things, like coming back together, all being exhausted. Yeah, that would be really tiring. I never thought about it like that. That's true. Wow. Yeah. I've never used so much glitter before. I actually used my powers for a scene. Finally. I think those names because Jerry couldn't pronounce Ebony's name because Tracy's a little dumb. You know what? That's actually also the reason that in Fallen Angels, Diogenes was called the Cynic to start off with. I told the story before, but Adam says that he couldn't pronounce his name like Diogenes. And so he called him the Cynic because Diogenes was, you know, the actual Diogenes was the founder of the Cynics movement in philosophy. Yeah, no, actually, the reason behind that, the real out of universe reason, is because Aiden couldn't pronounce Diogenes' name at the time. He can now, but he couldn't back then, so that's why. This feels like a green or slash Mario theme to the background, but yeah. And my ears hurt from their argument. Which is not the line that Ebony says in the script. The line is, and my eyes hurt from using night vision. Which makes way more sense because, well, it's in the original version because she actually had her eyes glow. They changed in the video to use night vision. That would potentially hurt your eyes. I love how all of them are just not used to using their powers originally because they don't think that for so often the villains like back down so quickly. They're just not used to exerting themselves as superheroes. That's actually kind of funny. But yeah, The problem is that we didn't get actual like night vision because there was because the smoke bombs were incredibly clear and you could still see through them. But also now we get a different line that has nothing to do with like the powers, which kind of ruins the whole symmetry behind it. People were supposed to be traced to pronouncing Ebony Pop, but you even try. Oh, Ebony. Okay, Bibby. Yeah. Wait, but then Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo was then just like Tamsin being like, oh, of course, that's how it was supposed to go. All right, so it's another script misinterpretation. Even though, how do you misinterpret? Okay, I don't even. Okay, right, sure. It was not a Cinderella reference. It is now. Congratulations. Also, there is no ears hurt equivalent line, so Tamsin definitely also fixed that, probably not understanding the original point, or perhaps realizing that she ruined the original point and therefore had to do something else. Even though we still had it mechanically as if Tree Pop couldn't see without Ebony's directions, so I don't even know. Wait, if Troublemaker and her two new helpers left, does that mean we have to clean up all this mess? Miraculous Ladybug. You know, unfortunately can't use it there, but oh well. The one time my powers used to let Young be for making those my powers. I mean, it actually makes sense because Ebony Pop, you know, Ebony, black, yes, you can see through the dark. That's actually, that's a pretty nice power. That's not a bad thing at all, actually. Younger you was onto something with that. I mean, the problem, I guess, with like using that in like jazz pops is that there were never any nocturnal scenes, so it didn't come in handy, I guess, would be the problem. But aside from that, you know, as a concept power, it's not a bad idea. Yeah, don't say that. I mean, as a concept, it's fine. It's just because you never like got the chance to, you know, properly use them until now, as you pointed out right in this situation. I think using pop powers takes energy because human eyes don't naturally glow in the dark, so it's kind of painful. Yeah, the other side of that was the potential you could say that they like, you know, their new like physiology is attuned to that. So maybe it's more painful when they use them like out of their pop form. You know how like that. You know how like they can like most pops can still have like some semblance of their powers outside of there, just not as potent. Insert the million times that Cosmic Pop has read someone's mind, for example. That's where I imagine it would take much more energy because they don't have the form to sustain themselves. That's what I would think. The superhuman, I can't even shoot anything to defend myself. Well, I mean, every pop has laser beams. You know, that's just the standard power. So you don't technically need anything else. Super hearing would have come in handy if you'd used it for like spying on the villains from a distance. But most times in jazz pops, the pops just kind of like either are there, they're ambushed immediately, or they just like approach the villains all at once and get the powers, and then the reveal anyway. Ah, pay the platypus! Allow me to tell you about my evil plan. You know, that kind of thing. That's the that's why. So the powers themselves were not the problem because they do have their uses. The problem was that you didn't give yourself the chance in writing to display them at any point. And also, as jazz pops, almost no one used their powers ever, except Earth Pop. Weirdly, that was it's even ability to write that fight scene. It was fun, yeah, with all the surviving footage involved. But yeah, it feels like Troublemaker purposely didn't clean up after herself, so we would have to. Which is probably the most successful villain part of this. Although Troublemaker wasn't even here to cause the mess, so that line doesn't make any sense, I don't think. She really is a troublemaker. Oh, wow. Okay. We're almost done, by the way. This is like the end of the video. Oh, and now they summon stuff, and like, oh, okay. The gods go see the background. Cool. Oh, whoops, sorry. What have I done? I know what I did. Okay, you didn't miss anything else in there. I have to fix that later. What the heck? Oh, okay, it's fine now. All right. I don't know what happened there. But yeah, what I was gonna say was, you know, all you missed was like them. They were still cleaning stuff up, and then a couple of other extras and such. Yeah, it was supposed to be in ruins. Oh yeah, I guess because like the lasers and like the glitter and like the smoke bombs and everything else, they just kind of like disappeared. I guess this is where I think Shardy's editing style would have come in handy a lot because Shardy likes to use like a lot of debris and changes the appearance of the existing gacha backgrounds to suit the action choreography. Of course, this stuff is also a lot more elaborate, and the action scenes a lot more direct, like punching rather than like using powers. So that's also the kind of like the difference there. But if you need destruction, then I guess that's the best place to go, really, as far as that happens. So yeah, ultimately we end up with a video where the mess didn't exist. Two characters were inconsistent from each other as to like what they were supposed to have, and the intimidating character was not ultimately as intimidating. Two of those things were mainly the issues from adapting the script, which I never thought I would be in a situation where the creator of the video misread their own script so thoroughly. I understand that Tamsin didn't like write most of that. I get it. But the whole point of collaborating with someone else was to use like their ideas, like Gosuke's ideas, to help with the storytelling. And that just didn't seem to happen this time. It's like Tamsin like accidentally pushed back. It's like, well, what's the point of having someone else there if you're not going to like pitch like what they're doing, or like adapt from there. From what I've seen also, it looks like there's messages on here, the ones that you told me about, Ghost Kitty. It indicates that you two talk through text back and forth exclusively. Most of the time, whenever like Ed and I've edited things, like it's either been like I've typed stuff like in the moment because it's like late at night and I didn't want to be on like VC too late or something. But also, or we just be both on VC so we could like, interact in the moment and explain ourselves if there was any source of confusion while these things were going on. I think maybe like Tamsin is potentially, she's confident in the fact that like everything you're going to write for her is going to be received better than what she was doing before, probably because of like stuff like this. Guilty, I understand. But ultimately she's still the one like doing the oversight and should at least like communicate, okay, if there's things like that can't be done, or or that there's something like viable to like make a mistake and be willing to correct said mistake before the video goes live or before the trailer goes live, I think. Yeah. There's also ruins because Tracy broke wherever they wanted the fight to make the mess worse. Yeah, that's what I thought. Like just like they got like progressively worse, but then that was never apparent. I guess that's like one visual thing that's like being held back at this moment, which is very rare nowadays because Tamsin is like every time I still find like ways that she's like improved from like before, with how like we've refined the teleportation effect goes, not just a simple fade anymore. There's two different versions of it. There's all the sound effects, the angles, the synced up sounds and everything. That stuff is all fantastic. It's just, I guess, comprehending the now story that's being presented, which is a whole other issue to improve. Hopefully, it will do so from here, and I guess no Demon Hunters, but yeah. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Please leave a like or dislike because your opinion matters, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And on that note, until next time, farewell.